Fins up, baby. Fins up.
I swear, if a certain quarterback is mentioned in the comments, got my beers ready. I'm gonna crack it open.
Or is it the Serbian kid?
Serbian kid, This looks done. Oh my god, it looks fantastic.
I'm the man. I said it, and it's reality. All right.
Congratulations.
Good evening, Miami Dolphin fans. I am Rob Mosley, a.k.a. Dolphins Thirsty. Tonight, I'm the main host because Steve is here in the beautiful Sunshine State and couldn't make the show tonight. But we got the head honcho of the network, Bobby Fins Talk, as the co-host tonight. Thank you, Bobby, for being a great fill-in. So, and yes, Evan, I will get some equal share of the talking this time. So anyway, so Bobby, how's everything up there in Tennessee?
It's all good, man. It's going great. I've been dealing with sick kid right now, so I was up since 3:30, 4 a.m. in the morning with my kid. But in regards of Dolphins, I'm just excited. We are 9 days away to the NFL draft. A lot of chatter going on. I'm excited to talk to you about draft talk, trade talk, and whatever else we have on the docket.
Yeah, sounds good. So, speaking of that, Barry Jackson, one of the best guys to follow for Miami Dolphin fans on a local basis outside of the Ian Rappaport's, of course, of the world. Barry's my go-to guy. He has a good, interesting article in the one today and one yesterday. Yesterday's focused on the running backs, and there's a lot of good running backs, both via the draft and via trade that the Dolphins have been linked to. And on that note, I tend to agree with what he said, but also what Drew Rosenhaus, the noted agent, said as far as the Cook situation. I don't think under Cook's current salary situation, he's not a great fit for the Dolphins at this time because until June 1st, we don't have that kind of money on the books. So now if they cut him, then is he willing to take a hometown discount for the Dolphins, Drew Rosenhaus brought up, because Miami might not outbid other teams in the market due to where we have all of the restraints. But of those, what do you think? Would you rather have a Cook or a Henry, or would you rather have a Gibbs fall to us, or your Charbonnet guy that you're always picking? Who would you rather have in that situation?
Oh, well, that's a great question. I actually just posted up on your website on dolphinsthirsty.com, which is some great Dolphins content up on there talking about this, that the Dolphins are the betting favorites to land either Derrick Henry or Dalvin Cook. I think both of them are projected to make up to $11 million next season with bonuses included, which is not a big number. But as you said, after June 1st, we'll have some extra money after Byron Jones is cut. Another deal that, again, another player that might be included in that is a Cedric Wilson. If you look to trade him before before that deadline or that June 1st cut, that gives you, I think, $7 or $9 million to free up. So that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I would love that move.
Yeah, I would like the Dalvin Cook. I would be okay with that move. I know there's some injury concerns, even though he played 17 games last year, had over 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. The 13th or the 11th best offensive line was Minnesota Vikings. So there is some intrigue there. I'm okay. I would like that move. What move I'd prefer? Derrick Henry all day. I mean, Derrick Henry had the worst offensive line. Yeah, Derrick Henry had the worst offensive line in football, 32, and I mean, still had 13 touchdowns, 1,500 yards, almost 1,600 yards. I think him with Raheem Mostert, it would be a crazy 1-2 combo. What's up, Fins Tailgate?
Yeah, and Fins Tailgate, that's a great Mount Rushmore. If people are wondering, what the heck is this guy talking about? I asked on my Twitter today, come tell us what your Mount Rushmore of Miami Dolphins great is. So he's just not throwing out random names there. If you're familiar. So obviously he's talking about Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, Dan Marino, and Don Shula. That's his Mount Rushmore. Very similar to some of the names I have on mine. Good job, Fins tell.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. We have that as a show header as well. That's why he threw that out there.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is we do have a double header tonight. So just stay on the channel, stay on this show. After Real Talk Fins Talk, we got the Fins Bandwagon with Evan Posner and Michael Vogel. They'll talk about OTAs. I'm sure they'll give their Mount Rushmores. But I know I want to talk about AJ Dewey. I know you bring him up all the time.
Yeah,
so
he's my favorite. That's why I had my Dolphins greats and my Dolphins favorites.
I think that is awesome. I really, because I see you always posting about him, so I was like, I am definitely gonna talk to him about that. But yeah, no, Derrick Henry is my preferred choice. Dalvin Cook I'm cool with, but again, if you say let's wait till after the draft or wait till 51 comes on the board, and let's say Jahmyr Gibbs is sitting there at 51 or Zach Charbonnet. Here's the thing. You go with how can they turn out? But you know what you have in Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook.
Right.
That's the if. I asked Alex the same question you asked me. He said, why not both? Which, again, that sounds a little too rich. But it's not impossible because
it's not out of the question, but
it's not out of the question. But people go, wait, we re-signed all our running backs basically from last year. Why would we go after a running back? The Dolphins have set themselves up where they don't have to overpay, as you brought up, or overcompensate. They could sit back and be fine. But they were.
I was going to say, yeah, I agree with you 100%. And they're easy contracts to move on from without much hit. If they get their lucky lottery number and get one of the better running backs, they can say, well, Gaskin, thank you for the past few years, but
Well, and Jeff Wilson, which we have on here, Jeff Wilson, one thing I found interesting in Barry's article that he's scheduled to make $2.2 million, but after June 1st, if the Dolphins were to trade for another running back or draft a running back, they could easily dangle him out and get a mid-round pick for him, and it only costs like $700, I think $785.
Yeah, something in that neighborhood. Not bad at all. So they've done those contracts very smart.
Very smart deals by Chris Greer and the Dolphins front office, which I got to give kudos. And, Evan knows better than anybody. I'm not good with giving kudos to Chris Greer, but that I do because it was very smart moves by the Dolphins show management.
Contractually very smart. Now let's just hope we get the product on the field to be smart. But as far as those contracts, they're great because it doesn't close the door on us getting another running back, but it doesn't open the door that, oh my God, we got to go get a running back. So it's the best of both.
Exactly.
The best of both worlds. So
how would you like it to
Motivation, welcome to the room.
Yeah, Michael Vogel in the house. He'll be on in just 20 minutes. But what would you rather Miami do, Rob? I mean, would you rather them go running back? Would you rather them stick with what they have? Or you say, no, I want a Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry?
I prefer like the rookie guy because it's long. I know it's a risk, but that's how you build long winning teams. Because if some of the other things don't go well in the next couple of years, at least you got that young running back to groom and be your lean on him for a little while until we reestablish ourselves at a better price tag. Because we're already almost in. Sorry, Evan's quote just threw me off I know he's just trying to get a plug. He's saying Greer on Mount Rushmore.
See, he's trying to piss me off.
Yeah, I gave you your attention, Evan. I gave you your attention. But anyway, so yes.
Exactly.
I would say the running back situation better if it's a rookie, but it doesn't. Where we are right now, it just opens up a whole bunch of opportunities for us. If we're just sitting there at 51 or one's within a few spots that we can easily move up or, get the best one at 51, then great. But then if you don't get one, the board doesn't fall that way and you can shore up the offensive line, tight end, right tackle, guard. I know Vogel's favorite center guy from Minnesota would be him jumping up and down on the couch on draft night.
Commentary in the house. Here's
another one. Hey, caller, and another good. Let's see, Dan Zonka Duper. Oh, okay, almost the same as mine again. So I would tell mine later. It's an article on Dolphins Thirsty on my Mount Rushmore. I have my favorites and my greats, and I didn't double them up because some of the greats would have been my favorites too, of course, with Marino. So I did favorites and greats. But so yes, to me, I would prefer the Miami Dolphins to wait until the draft before making any trades or moves, unless, and then this is a big unless, Minnesota outright cuts Cook before them, but I don't think they will because they save a little more money if that happens to make him a post June 1st.
Yeah.
Cut. So I we will see, but
I think I'm okay, comfortable. I'm comfortable waiting till pick 51 if Miami doesn't see the back they like, and let's say maybe they get a tight end or a tackle guard, whatever, and then pick 84 rolls around, I'm comfortable giving up an 84th overall pick in Cedric Wilson for a Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Yes,
because you can't beat that value at that point. Not saying you can't get a good back at that point, because the running back class is very deep in this draft. That you could get a decent quality back, Chase Brown, Sean Tucker. There's a lot of these guys on there that you could go, man, this guy could fit with what we want. But is the value higher with a Sean Tucker over a Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry? So I'm cool waiting until 51 and then see what happens at 84.
Yeah, no, that's what I say. Those two picks, put up there and see what happens after that. Because we're like you said, we won't be in panic mode. We're not going to be, oh my God, we got to call. We got to get the Vikings on the phone and do a move.
You don't have to do it.
You don't have to. You're going to be fine. Because like a few years ago, I know we've made like some draft day moves to bring in a veteran running back that wouldn't work out, because we're like, oh my God, we went through the draft and none of these guys worked out, and lo and behold, the guys we traded for didn't come in and do well either. So this year's totally different, because we can get by with what we have. Will they be elite, super that fans want and hoping for? No, but can they get the job done in a second year in a McDaniel offense, trying to get the line better and running? Yes, I think they can, because Moser and Wilson both had great yards per carry average. It's just sometimes we abandon the running game.
Yeah. What's up, Cap?
We didn't. Hey, Cap, Kohler, Evan, and I know the AKA Violet, if I have a call there. So
yeah, I would just want to let Violet know that I did my NHL playoff bracket, and I do have the Tampa Bay Lightning winning this year. So, shout out to Violet.
You guys that know all the sports. I'm a football, baseball. When you guys start talking these other
things, I'm horrible with hockey, but my boss is a diehard hockey fan, and she asked. I found it for her, and she's like, "Did you do one?" I was like, "I guess I have to." So I would like to put Florida Panthers, but I don't think they could take out the Bruins.
Yes, Cap. We briefly talked on that. Like Rosenhaus mentioned, like, will he be willing to take a hometown discount? And I'm thinking if it's a big discount, no. But if it's close enough to where it's like, us in the same ballpark, and with the tax difference in Florida, opposed to maybe a team that has a state income tax, and it comes out, then maybe he would give us a little bit of a discount. Now, if he's not going to give us like a $5 million, some teams like blowing him out of the water with like double-digit millions, and we're coming there, oh, here's $3 million for you, Dalvin. Then no, we're not going to get a hometown. But I think if close enough, maybe he would give us a little bit of a hometown discount.
So let me ask you this, talking about draft, maybe we continue with running backs, but you and I have done a lot of homework on the draft. We've been covering it on DolphinsThirsty.com, Fins Talk Sports Network, all that whatnot, doing a lot of homework. I know there's a lot of players we're going to like, that we like. There's a lot of players we are going to bang the table for. But who is your one draft crush that you say, man, if there's any one player I want the Dolphins to get, it has to be this guy?
Well, I had two different categories. One at just top of the line, would be obviously a Darnell Washington and a Dream World and him fall there, something like that. So those draft crushes, but kind of the crush that could be more realistic later, but both of them are rising up draft boards. If it's just to killing me, is like a Brenton Strange. I always had, every time I've had him taken sick. Now Mel Kiper took Strange at, not that, like I said, Mel Kiper's as wrong as often as I'm wrong, but he still has him going up, at 51 all the way to the Dolphins. So I'm like, holy crap. So now that much of a crush on Brenton Strange I don't have, but I always liked him. And I like Chase Brown, that I would say if we can move one of those picks down and get an extra pick, because we're not going to get Chase Brown unless we take him at 84, basically at the latest, because our gap between 84 and the next pick, it's just way too great. He's going to be gone off the board. So that's where I would like to fill in that gap. But yeah, there's a couple crushes I like. Just Tucker Kraft, who you can read about, and the Dolphins have evidently worked out per Barry Jackson's latest article. He's a guy you can read about in Dolphins Thirsty. He's another guy I kind of like a lot too. So there are those draft crushes, but I mean, the main draft crushes, of course, are the guys that I really don't think is going to be there. Like a Darnell Washington or a Gibbs. Both of those have grown on me, because Gibbs is a great fit for the Dolphins and what he does, his style of running, the fact that he can catch the ball. and I think would be a legit threat in a McDaniel offense. But those are like the two dream guys. But like the more realistic guys are the Brenton Strains, the Jack Campbell, but I don't know if that's realistic anymore. I like Jack Campbell a lot. And I also like, a couple of the offensive linemen. So how about
Evan,
yourself?
Who is the head coach and GM of your local team? Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, Pat Riley, and
hockey.
Oh, well,
I 100% admit I don't know, Evan. I could probably name two in history: Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. That's about my history. Yeah. I do not watch.
And I lost track of who their
and I've been to Montreal games in Montreal and saw all the beautiful display of their history. Like it's like Montreal is kind of a lot like the Dolphins. All the history, you got to go many years back to see all the great stuff. But I know they had some guy named the Rocket. I just remember that nickname because the Red Sox had a guy named the Rocket for a few years.
What's hockey?
So I do remember. Hey, that's what I basically say. What's hockey? I don't knock those that love it. I mean, some people that knock me for loving baseball, but I don't care. Everyone loves their different things.
Sports in general is just awesome. I love sports. Anytime I can watch a sport, I mean, I have my preferences, but anytime I could sit down and watch some sports, I'm down. So I think it's been pretty obvious who my draft crushes are. If people have been paying attention watching the shows, but Darnell Washington, I've been pounding the table for him since the beginning of the draft process.
Yeah.
And now, of course, he's rising up boards, and it sucks because it's like, Tucker Kraft. I guess a guy that doesn't get mentioned enough. You brought up a running back. I've talked Cameron Latu's a guy later on, but I'd say Darnell Washington is the fantasy. Tucker Kraft is realistic, but if there's another guy that doesn't get enough love, I love Jacques Charbonnet, but Israel Abanikanda.
Oh, the Pittsburgh guy,
running back, yeah, hard hitter, thumper. I like him. Mid-round pick. Hunter Luque, he's one of my favorites. But I want to say he's like, I gotta have him. But I like Hunter Luque. I think he's going to be a very good player in this league, especially if he landed with somebody like the Niners or the Dolphins. But yeah, I'd say if I'm going to say throw two names out there, would be Israel Abanikanda from Pitt, the running back, and Tucker Kraft, the tight end. Yeah. Of course, there's a lot more, but if I can't say Darnell Washington or Jahmyr Gibbs, who are like, early second round picks, right? Later first round picks, I would go with those two. He did.
Because like I said, if we hadn't been tampering Tom or, messing with Sean Payton, we would have had pick 21. That would have been a perfect pick right there for Darnell Washington. It's just that would have been the perfect spot. Yes, it may have, you could even maybe have traded down from that spot and still maybe picked them up towards the end. That would have been risky, but instead, we tampered. I know what would have, could have, should have, but man, that would have been the perfect spot. Would have been the perfect spot for him. So, it is what it is, though. And those are the guys I like. I'm happy that we don't need a quarterback. Maybe, some in Dolphins land will slander me for saying that, but, we don't need a quarterback going into this year. We're good.
Wait, this is a positive show tonight, okay?
That's
we're going to out positive the bandwagon. Evan says he's the most positive person, which is a full of crap if you watch the bandwagon.
I know. If I've ever watched, I know. I've seen him soaking in his car outside his house because, people don't want to deal with Evan. So, but I let him forget those memories. It's okay.
Exactly. So there's no negative talk tonight. We got a quarterback for next year. He played really damn good at when he did. Of course, he struggled 5 games. That's true. Injuries, yes, but no. When it counts, he had played very well. Let's hope it continues into next year. We're worried, and at the same thing, off season I think has been smart. Dolphins have done very smart signings, very conservative contracts, minus the Jalen Ramsey trade. But even I like that. I'm not negative. I'm realistic. I'm realistic.
Bobby. He's still in Bobby's worry.
Yeah, I'm realistic. Okay. Take my word.
Good one, Evan.
But anyway, look, we have as the show topic for tonight, and I actually got it from you because you brought it up. And like you said, you tweeted about it. So I was like, that would be a perfect if not a closing topic, because could be the closing topic if we don't have time. Because I want to do a mock draft, but if we can't do that, that's perfectly fine. Because you and I love doing those damn things. But the Miami Dolphins Mount Rushmore, you say you've got two. You have your personal Mount Rushmore, and then you got the team Mount Rushmore.
Right.
I think that's a very interesting concept. So first off, what is your team Mount Rushmore, and then give me your personal Mount Rushmore.
The team one, it's almost what a lot of people are saying is Shula, Marino, Zonka, and the last one I had a very hard time. I really know Bob Greasy, like yours is up there probably, I would think. I really wanted Bob Greasy, but I wanted to be a little more like, oh man, I'm focusing on the really old team or my generation. Let me give it a little younger. So I went Jason Taylor, another Hall of Famer.
That is my team Mount Rushmore. Jason Taylor, that exact list.
Yeah. So mine is, Don Shula, just because it's the man, and then Dan Marino, and so that's it. And then Larry Zonka, because you can't think of the perfect seasons without thinking of Larry Zonka. And then I went Jason Taylor with a slight edge over Bob Greasy, even though I feel like Bob Greasy would probably, if I really was put under pressure, I would do it, but I kind of did it for the website, saying, let me give some younger fans that maybe they're going to say, what's this old fart talking about? All these guys are long gone when I started watching the Dolphins. and my personal favorite before I get to you is A.J. Dewey, as Evan will attest. He's my first favorite player ever. Met him when I was a kid. I have a picture of them floating around out there with him as a kid. He was a great guy. And then I got the Marx brothers, both of them, Duper and Clayton. And then a killer bee sneaks in, Doug Betters. He was a guy that played defensive end for the Dolphins back in the day. Doesn't get a lot of attention. And after his career, he got paralyzed while skiing, but he's still always, if you see him on video, he's always optimistic and always tell people that overcome anything and you can do it. Very good guy. So those are my favorite Dolphins on my Mount Rushmore.
There you go. Michael Vogel has Keith Sims. Evan Posner says no love for Laramie. I'm assuming Laramie Tunzel.
Yeah, exactly.
He says 20 minutes and no mention of liking, subscribing, tell your friends, family. Okay. You guys are watching.
You, I'm horrible about that. Sorry,
no. I did it too. Yeah. You guys are watching Real Talk Fins Talk of the Fins Talk Sports Network. That's Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com. I'm Bobby Fins Talk of the Fins Talk Sports Network. Smash that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you all watching, whether you're watching Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Tell your friends, your families, your neighbors, your mothers, your brothers, your sisters, your fathers. Tell them all about this channel and hit that like and subscribe button.
Yeah, well said. Good. So I know Evan and Michael will be sneaking in our room here in a minute before we drop out. But anything else you want to do before anything? What was any other good things to talk about? I'm trying to peek at my notes.
I think,
you haven't said do you have a favorite Mount Rushmore? I know who your Mount Rushmore of greats is.
So, okay, yeah, my Mount Rushmore, my team Mount Rushmore, if you ask me, I understand the Bob Greasy thing. And yes, one of the greats for Dolphins, had a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls. But Dan Marino, Don Shula, Jason Taylor, Zonka.
Oh, okay, so the same. Okay.
That is my team Mount Rushmore. Now, my personal favorites, Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas. I mean, this would be hard because I got to say, because again, this is what I grew up watching. Ricky Williams.
I knew you were your generation would go Ricky.
Oh, don't go like that in my generation.
Well, it is that generation.
I know.
Mine would always go Marino, Duper, Clayton. So I understand. So
it sucks that I can't put a quarterback on there, even though I would say if there was a quarterback who was one of my favorites, just because He was Jay Fiedler back in the day when I was younger.
No, that's it. That's where because I would say David Woodley could have easily made my list of favorites.
Yeah, but the defense back then was top notch. It was the defense, but if I had to put 4 right now. I mean, I know I'm missing somebody. I'm going to lose my crap because I was only thinking about the team one and got the personal one. But maybe Chris Chambers. I put those are my top 4 right now. Yeah. I'm probably going to go crazy later. But
that's fine because, like I say, it's normally when you're younger, your favorites are developed because it's nothing like being a kid with the biggest thing in the world was the Miami Dolphins. I didn't have a job, didn't have to worry about this or that. All I care about is Miami Dolphins. It was the end all be all. My wife would sometimes say I'm still haven't outgrown that stage. That's the all end all be all because it can affect my mood.
Hey, I could obviously I love all of Miami sports. I love sports in general, but my number one is the Miami Dolphins. My number one is football. Yeah. If the Dolphins are on, I'm not doing anything. No. I'm watching the game. I will not leave until the final snap. Yeah. I do have some, which I always thought was funny. We talked about on Fitz Talk today. I do have like a little bit like some superstitions, no lovey-dovey. Don't be coming up kissing on me because every time you kiss me, that's my wife. You kind of kiss me, there's a throw interception or a fumble, and she does it and she's tested. She'll come up and go, and do it. And all of a sudden, intercept. I go, I told you, it goes back,
I know.
or keeping my toes a certain way, to see how the game's going. It's happened before. It's the craziest thing, but
I think we all have it. As much as we don't believe in superstition when it comes to our football teams, all of a sudden we believe in a superstition.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And let me just remind everybody very quick, and then we got about 5 minutes. Well, we got a few minutes because I have them at 8:05. But after this, stay tuned. We're just everything's staying the same. I mean, the same link, the same episode. It's changing up the Fins Bandwagon. It's Michael Vogel, Evan Posner. It's gonna be awesome. What I like about Michael is he keeps Evan positive. He does not let Evan get negative. And I see
good.
Michael's already waiting in the back, so I gave him a cheap
bring
plug,
him on in. We can
bring him in. What we can do, since we got a few minutes, maybe we could run it together. But let's do a mock together.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll do you and me, and we'll go. Bet how we feel. We'll debate if we like a player. We'll say no, we agree on this. Let's roll with that.
Yeah.
That way, at least
you can have all the later round. You've been really the good homework. I kind of been focusing on the 51 and 84 the most. So I let you do some of those because every time Strange falls in the late, but I know in real life now he's not going to probably fall, unfortunately. So, but we'll see.
We'll see. Hey, you know what? I like you said earlier. I don't know if you said it during the show or before, but Mel Kiper, he could be following a trend. I did see him look at the TCU guard at 51. It might have been 84, which makes more sense.
No, the TCU guard, Barry said his latest mock draft twice, but I think because that one probably came out as he was writing the article. So he said the latest mock draft, and then later in the article he said, his latest one in the mock draft's Avila guy. And then, but I was saying, Barry, you just told me the latest mock draft had him taken. But he's probably fixed it since then. So let's see. We're already moving. Like I said, I wish the draft would fall this fast over the first couple of nights.
I know, right? Yeah.
I would say no. That's going.
Here. Yeah, I'm not going to say yes to that because I see I see what I like there. Let me go ahead and get out of there. So let me go ahead and reject this. Even though
I know you like Gibbs, and I'm with you.
Yeah.
I like Jack. I like Jack. And Steve Avila is there, but I like Jack Campbell. But Gibbs is too much of a spot. It would eliminate a desire to go out and get a high-priced running back. So I would say you just run up to the board and take Gibbs.
I would take Jahmyr Gibbs here because, again, yes, Miami has done work on – they re-signed their entire running back room, and they added to their linebacker group, plus re-signed some guys. So, oh, crap, there goes my chair. I would go Jahmyr Gibbs here because that's a definite upgrade in that room, and you could probably trade a pick and gain a mid-round pick and get a linebacker. So
yes.
we'll go Jahmyr Gibbs.
I agree. A good choice.
Well, this is interesting.
So that's not falling yet. Oh, that's actually I like that one.
I like that trade. I'm cool with this trade. Are you?
Yeah, I'm cool with that trade. Even though I do like a couple guys on the board because Laporta, hopefully he falls a little bit. Or
Blake
whatever.
Cleveland, you get a tackle there. Let's see how that.
Yeah, I say do it. You're only falling 5 picks and you fill in some of that big gap. No, not that one.
I think we're.
Oh man, that's actually not bad either. But I would say
trade down 3 spots. Yeah, I mean you don't want to lose losing
Laporta,
out.
I don't think because
I'm good with Laporta. I think Laporta would be a great pick.
Yeah, I want Laporta here. So
awesome. So we actually traded up from 238, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let it roll down.
This is where your specialty would come in because, like I said,
we got a running back. We got a tight end, Sam Laporta. We got Jahmyr Gibbs here. This is where you kind of go best player. And I mean, yeah, you could kind of reach for a need.
Yeah.
For me, I really like. I know the Dolphins. I actually have him in our latest mock draft, or my latest mock draft on DolphinsThirsty.com. Is Mike Morris, edge rusher out of Michigan.
Okay.
I like him.
Hey, he's a good value there. So.
Yeah, I would take him there. I mean, is there any player here, though, any position you want me to take a look at before
I would like the offensive line, but, I don't think – I do not know too much about McFadden, obviously. I don't know.
That's why, I don't want to – maybe – and, let me go ahead look over here if there's anybody at these spots.
I like one of the guys you took in one of your recent – the McClendon kid.
Warren McClendon out of Georgia,
yeah, I took him in one of my mocks for the site, and then you're the very same day. So they're gonna say, "Oh, this site likes he just fell to me too, and I think he would be a solid pick because he's a right tackle too, a true right.
Well, and I will say this because I know a lot of people might go, "Why don't we pick an offensive line?" Rob and I discussed it before the show. That was one of the articles Barry Jackson released today is that the Dolphins are doing their homework on guards, on offensive linemen, but possibly later in the draft and after the draft. They took actually a guy out. I think he was from Hawaii. I don't have his name in front of me, but a Hawaii guard. They took him out to dinner, so he's an undrafted free agent prospect. So this could be how it kind of plays out. But for this pick, Rob, if you're comfortable, I would go with Mike Morris, edge rusher out of Michigan.
All right, jump it. And then what other pick did we pick up, or is that it?
That we're at 197.
No, okay. Because I know we lost our 7th round pick or whatever, but that's fine. That's much better.
So here, I mean, unless you have a player that you see, or if you want to look at a certain position, I would say what makes sense, because obviously Brenton Strange is probably going to be there, but we have a tight end now with Sam Laporta. I'd say Juice Scruggs. The Dolphins met with him as well out of Penn State.
Oh yes, and you've been taking him a lot, so
yeah, I would go.
I would go that way too. That would make Michael Vogel a little bit happy. We finally.
I think so.
We finally touched the offensive line. But
So,
it's limited. I mean, we have limited amount of picks in real life this year, so it's hard to fill all the positions. So,
well, another guy I saw on there at the end there is Carl Brooks, out of Bowling Green, D tackle. I think he is a definite option for the Dolphins later.
Yeah, I've seen you take him before too. I think
like him a lot.
Yeah,
but I would be happy with this draft.
Oh no, if the draft fell like that with no trade out of the first pick we had, but we traded a little bit down on the second one. I think that'd be the best value right there. And we got an extra body in the camp ready to play some football for our Dolphins. So I think that's awesome.
Let me see here. Evan, you painted my butt. Let me go ahead and send this to Evan very quick because he is logging in.
Oh, okay.
We're getting ready for a Fins bandwagon. You go ahead and put this in. Evan, try it now. I just sent it. I'll send it again. Let's get Michael Vogel in here.
All right. Hey, Michael.
Michael, you're unmuted, my friend. You didn't need to be muted to hear what he just said.
What up?
Yeah.
What's
you look
up,
comfortable there, Michael.
I know. Figured I'd try it someplace else. Gene Pryor, is that who you're talking about? Offensive guard from Hawaii.
I wish I had it for no. He had like a different name. I don't think it was Gene Pryor.
The other one is Cole Laveo, who's a center.
Could be that. I saw a Hawaii guy. I'll get you the name, but I know they went out to dinner.
Wine 'em and dine 'em.
Wine 'em and dine 'em. I could probably look that up. Costanza, his camera's not on. We're waiting for the one and only Evan Posner.
I'm trying to look up Barry's latest link here.
Yeah, look that up before we close. We're gonna switch this up to the bandwagon. Oh, he's blowing kisses. I love you, Mike.
It's my pooper, my little puppy dog.
Oh,
staring at me.
So
hey, it's Evan.
It's Evan, and as you guys see here, you stay right here. Bandwagon. Evan, stop touching stuff.
I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm
Evan,
having fun on purpose.
So
that's good.
He gave me access. It's own fault.
Yeah, I did. That's my problem. But anyway,
okay, Hawaii's Mika Vanderpool.
That's who it was. Vanderpool.
Wow, that did not show up for me.
Vanderpool. He's an undrafted. There's a few of them. There's another guy that I saw they really like. Again, these are prospects that, and I think there was a defensive lineman as well. These are targets for them after the draft. So be interesting. But anyway, Evan, were we positive enough for you?
No, because you were negative about me. That makes you negative. Just because you talk positive about the Dolphins, being negative about me does not make you positive. You basically screwed yourself over by making fun of me. It's all good.
You know you love it. You know you love it. But Rob, any final thoughts? Oh, well, first off, Michael, how did you like that mock draft?
It was good. It was good. I liked it. Yeah, it's just
I wasn't paying attention.
It's only, when you only have 4 or 5 picks, it's not you're very limited with what you can do
But
with it.
Jameer
I-
Gibbs, Sam Laporta,
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs. Yeah.
Mike Morris. I like Mike Morris out of Michigan. We're going to talk a lot about that on Friday night, the draft show. And then, of course, I got to get the schedule out for our draft live coverage.
I've been excluded from that draft show, right?
No.
I want to break the record. How long do you think you can go on that show, Bobby? How long you can go without going even to take going to take a piss? Can you go the whole night?
Go watch last.
I remember.
Yeah.
By the way, I
the entire
expect
time.
blue ruffles. I expect blue ruffles on Thursday night.
There you go. Yeah, I gotta eat. But anyway, Rob, any closing thoughts, sir, before we call it a night?
No, so on the draft show, you guys do live because I would think of do one on mine if I'm not helping out on yours, but you're not worried about like a delay, like other people start telling you, oh, Twitter's saying this, because that's why I'm always like a little delay in TV than what some people are reporting. Like, I always like that sensation of finding out through TV the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I did it through the computer. I was listening to it live and all that, but we didn't have no issue of overlapping or anything like that. We reacted. We kept it quiet till everybody knew the pick as it came in, and then we discussed it. So.
No, that's awesome.
Oh wow!
Hey, Dolphins made a trade. Shut up, Bobby.
No, I know the NFL. But the NFL a few years ago cracked down on it. But I remember everyone was tweeting out like, "Oh, the Dolphins are going with before the." So that's why I went in Twitter dark mode the nights of the draft and those nights at the draft. Because I don't want some guy sitting in his dining room telling me who the Dolphins is. I like that sensation. With the fifth pick of the Miami Dolphins take Tua. I wanted that. I don't want like. Hearing,
I'm surprised you're going to be surprised by the time Dolphins pick, so we're going to be all good.
Oh, yeah, no, this year. You guys are doing a first round night? Or
first, second, third day.
Wow.
We're doing all 3 days.
I mean, you never know. It's the
I'm
NFL
sneaking
draft.
out.
I will watch it, but I have to admit, the past couple of drafts, I was a draft Nick before it was popular to be a draft Nick. I used to skip school on Tuesdays. My cool mom would let me skip school because I never skipped like most kids. And she would let me skip school to watch the NFL draft starting on a Tuesday morning. Yeah. And I would watch it.
Well, we're not
missing
anything.
I would have a big Mel Kiper blue book, like a little nerd there, circling all the names, writing. And I would have the old-fashioned hand list of all the mocks. I would do 100 mock drafts before it was cool to do mock drafts. And
so you were Mel Kiper before Mel Kiper.
Yeah. Well, no, I was Mel. I was Todd McShay before Todd. I should have taken. I just thought, there's no room for competition with Kiper. I mean, I should have, figured out a way to make money doing that than pounding the streets in a police car for 20-something years.
I'm convinced he's in that room only for the time of the year when it's time to do the draft, and the rest of the time he goes into his own darkness to treat Mel Kiper. Because you don't see him for 8 months. You see him for 4 or 5 months, and the rest of the time he's in his darkness to treat.
Yeah, but hey, he's made, make fun of all we want, but man, I would like Bobby and I was teasing before behind scenes, like, he's made a lot of money, and everyone that said, "Oh, you're horrible," he probably said, "Yeah," and you come check me every single year, watch it on my every board. So
you watch me every year do this.
Yeah, I hear you. That's great. They would never. I was watching live when he went bonkers on the Indianapolis Colts, packing up on and him and the general manager. They yelled at each. Who are you?
He thought Trent Dilfer was going to be a star.
I know. And he's
he
like,
thought Trent Dilfer was going to be a star.
And he was so mad. He's like, who are you, Mel Kiper? I was like, normally they just ignore those guys, but it knocked. He was mad. He let it drop. That was like great TV, man. Help put the draft on the map. Moments like that. So
much.
All right, guys, you are. Oh, let me get one in so I don't look like I'm a bad student. Make sure you like and subscribe to this great network here. And watch these next 2 guys. I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. I got to go take care of a couple of things, but I'll come watch you guys.
Awesome.
I got the Red Sox game on next, but hey, at least the Red Sox are actually up for a minute tonight.
There you go.
So anyway, guys, thank you. Like and subscribe, and we'll fall out, Bobby, and let these 2 studs take over the network.
That's right. God help us all. All right.
Later, guys.
Later.
All right.
Evan, you got it? You see the outro?
I did it before. You drove me nuts.
Okay. Outro.
I did it too early.
All you got to do.
I know what to do.
All right.
All right, guys.
Later, guys.
Dolphins number 1.
What's going to happen to
number 1, Steve?
Where do we go? What's going to happen to the people?
I'll take care of it before I head out.
No worry. Well, how do you move the person anyways?
Just click on the picture and then move them.
Just whoa!
I can't move them.
Hey!
I have no idea how to move them. How do I move myself? I want
I
to
don't
move you.
know.
How do I move you?
I don't know.
Click
so
on his
confused.
picture, hold down the mouse, and move the picture back. Look here. Look
It doesn't move.
there. Look.
Oh, up there. Oh, got it. Thank you.
Deuces. Fins up.
Thanks.
What's up?
What up, boss?
You're always sitting in a random place. It's so funny.
I know. When I got my computer on, my wife was in the kitchen where I normally set up, and she was working on some important stuff, so I didn't want to be in there rambling.
Oh, I get it.
So I was like, I'll go. And there was nobody for one of the first times ever, nobody in the living room. So I was like, I'll go set
How
up.
was your drive back from Indiana?
Not bad, dude. Like I just told my mom, I said, I'm going to go to sleep, and whenever I wake up, I think, depending on what so I fell asleep at like 9:30, and I woke up at like 11:30, and I was like, not too early. Went back to bed, and then finally woke up at like 1 or 1:30, and felt like I was good. So took off and got
the dog will keep you up.
took up. No, she was out. But I was listening to the book Belichick.
Oh God.
It was, I don't know, it's like 20 hours long, man.
I'd
And
go
so
to
it just
sleep.
kind of, it was like really interesting for me, being a coach and stuff. So, still a Patriots hater, never going to like the dude, but it was very interesting to just kind of see the behind the scenes stuff of that. So that helped keep me up.
It's a quiet night because it's a Tuesday night before the draft. So I think it would just be for us to have fun and chat. Welcome to the Fins Bandwagon. Whoever's going to
That's
join,
right.
don't forget to like and subscribe.
We are on the bandwagon officially.
We're on the bandwagon.
Folks.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's great to just follow it up because just to let you know, I'm producing. Maybe for the next few, we don't need Bobby Fins talk anymore. He will become.
That's right. We're taking over the network, baby. Taking it over.
Takeover. The Canadians are hostile takeover. We're taking them over. Anyway, so today I just wanted to chat a little bit about the upcoming draft. We've already talked about that. OTA started yesterday. So the thoughts of Miami Dolphins, like when you start feeling OTAs, I go, now the stuff is starting to start again. Because I said last week, even to you, that the draft is taking too long. I did it on Huddle Up and Wait because I co-hosted with Huddle Up and Wait last week, and I felt like the gap between what's grinding my gears is the gap between all the OTAs, the pro days, giving people a chance to do whatever they need to do, and the draft, because we've been doing so many mock drafts, so many discussions. Right. There's so much time you could fill leading into it. So it was nice to see yesterday. What always gives me a smile, because I'm sure like you do the same thing. I follow the Dolphins on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything like that. And when you see videos of them all walking into the facility yesterday, you know what's amazing? I just give you guys talk about it. And I've been there. That facility, is so amazing. To be in that area, what Miami Gardens used to be when it used to be Joe Robbie, that area, what they've done to develop that area is insane. And it feels so good. Like if you're like when they tell the tour, you saw Xavier Howard giving the tour to Jalen Ramsey, like that's amazing stuff. Like you know what I mean? Like there's so many other sports. The fact that they put that kind of money in to develop that area and to give the players, who wouldn't want to come live in that lifestyle? You know what I mean? It's amazing.
Yeah, I would love the opportunity to come check it out. I haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. So
well, if you don't want to go to North Carolina, you want to go to a game this year, buddy, I'll find a way to get down to Miami.
Well, we actually my best friend is a Giants fan. And we had talked, if they play, the next time they play, whether it be in New York or in Miami, we're going to go. So we're just trying to figure out when the date is to try and get down there.
This year I might just sneak into every year one of the Dolphins NYC guys hosts where he grabs gets 500 tickets up in the bleachers, and people always go down. They do a group thing where it's all Miami Dolphin fans coming from all different areas. I've never had the opportunity to do it. There's always been bad timing, but depending on the Jets game falls, it's not too cold, I'll definitely head on. Nothing too cold for me. I live in freaking Montreal. Just to let everybody know, it was literally 85 degrees, literally on Saturday and Sunday. Right now it's like 30 something.
It was so.
We got summer back to winter.
The whole time I was in Indiana, it's always hotter in North Carolina than it is in Indiana, and it was cool last week in North Carolina. I went home and it was like low 80s, high 70s, low 80s the whole time I was there. And then I come back here and my mom's like, yeah, it's supposed to snow on Tuesday. So I don't know if they actually got snow, but it was getting colder.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. I feel it's crazy weather here. Welcome to freaking global warming. God knows what the weather is calling for. So I'll give you the opportunity because it was at the end of their show. and we can get it out of the way, and then we can talk about more Dolphin stuff and things that I've been thinking about, and then you can give me what you've been looking forward to. Who is your Mount Rushmore of the Miami Dolphins, of coaches, team history? What would you think it would be? And then the other one I want to know is who's your Mount Dudmore? Who's the 4 players that have ever joined this team or coaches that literally you hate the most? Like, not hate, but like who you dislike the most. So who are your 4 Mount Rushmore players who you really believe are the best players who you like? I don't want to know who you like, who you would put on your Mount Rushmore, and who would you put on your Mount Dudmore?
Yeah, I think like as far as fandom goes, you know, like everybody else is saying like Shula and Marino, you know, and for me, like it's hard to get away from Zach Thomas and Jason Taylor, you know, like those, you know, but you still want to put Ricky Williams on there, so there, you know, and then there's all kinds of offensive linemen that you could put on there too, but those are just like when you talk about Miami Dolphins, those are
for sure
the 4 that pop up in my head, like off the top. The duds, Cam Cameron, Adam Gase, and Philbin, like just terrible coaches.
So that's what I said before on the show. Like I said to the Real Thirsty, I said, try to name me outside of Shula, name me either 3 executives or 3 more coaches who you would put on Mount Rushmore.
You know who
you couldn't do it. It's very hard. McDaniel might be on it.
The fourth dud that I just can't stand was the GM.
Ireland Hickey.
No. He was with the Jets too. He's
Panama.
on ES. Yeah. I don't like
Panama.
that dude. He's an idiot.
He's a joke.
He's an idiot. And every time he gets on ESPN, I'm just like, how did you get your job? Because you're terrible at what you do. That dude. Yeah. Those 4 I could have done without in Miami Dolphins history.
Yeah,
you can't always blame. You know, you can't always blame the Paylors.
It's really hard when you think about it. Don Shula, but when people really think about how great Don Shula was, he was really great in the 70s. He was okay in the 80s. He was awful in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy Johnson was a failure here. Dave Wanstad had success, but he didn't last. Then you had what's his name? Who was after him?
Nick Saban was a dud.
Nick Saban was a disaster. Then you have Cam Cameron. Then you have Sperano. Then you have Phil.
Oh, I love Sperano being an O-line guy.
Yeah, but the man, honestly, I've never met a guy go for more field goals in my life. If you want to win a game 12-6, Tony Sperano is your coach. Then Philbin. Then, honestly, if you think about it, outside of Shula, you might be stuck with Wanstead, Sperano, and McDaniel at this point.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that sense. Like, I don't even know. Like, you can't even.
Jimmy Johnson didn't get much out of him, did he?
No, because
he got rid of. Isn't he the one responsible for getting rid of Marino?
Yes. He ruined Marino's career. No, Wanstead was still there, but he was just like he ruined his career.
I love Wanstead. Yeah, I was hopeful under Wanstead, and then Jimmy Johnson came, and I was like, well, this might be a good thing, and then it was a big fart.
So for me, I understand Rushmore in terms of what they've done for the Dolphins and all that kind of stuff, but for me, people are going to be shocked by me saying this. The one player that should be on Mount Rushmore, just because of what he's been able to do for us so far, and he will be when he leaves here, is Tyreek. Because what I say about Tyreek is that, for me, this is a player who was already established. But I believe it's like a lot of other players, like Brady, when Brady was on the Bucs and he was able to bring players.
Yeah.
The players like Chubb, the players like Jalen Ramsey, the players that are joining this team and developing on this team would only be coming here because of Tyreek Hill. And what Tyreek Hill did in his first year, he already broke a record for the Miami Dolphins. So, what he's been able to do for this team and what he will be able to do for this team, he's posting on Instagram today where he's literally dancing around in his kitchen. And the 15, 20,000 people are watching him dance around this kitchen on Instagram. And it's all Dolphin fans. People are obsessed with this guy. He's so chill. He's setting up himself in Miami. You look at the development of the team, what he's doing for Jalen Waddle, what he's doing for Tua, what he's doing for this team. What Tyreek, I think he's going to be on that Rushmore because of what he's going to be able to do to this team. And
I agree.
This team ain't winning a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill on this team. They're not.
Right.
He is the foundational piece of what makes everything else go because he's the elite player that joined this team since Marino. No one else was elite before he got here since Marino. So for me, he's on that. He's on there. For me, Flo for me, just to give you guys a context, he may have had a great defense, but what he left behind and what he did to Tua's career, what he did to the ambiance of the team, not developing a staff, the whole, how he left, the loss, everything he's done is just, and then to still, because he's so, the hypocritical concept of, I'm being screwed over, but I'm going to go be the defense court. Like, he never really stood up with it, and that lawsuit is going to be just sitting there in the background for who knows how long. But it's just more for me the way he managed things. It was just like I told you, he was my cure for insomnia. It was just there was no sense of joy or passion.
Well, I think like in the beginning, like what he did with the team in the beginning, I was like, oh, we might be on to something.
Yeah.
And then you kind of hear, kind of all the background noise about, he's purposely benching Tua because he doesn't believe in him, and he's not really, and then they're changing offensive coordinators, and his staff changed from time to time. Like, it just
couldn't build the staff.
Yeah, I was over it.
Yeah. So for me, it set. I think that it set the team back 2 years. The way he managed things after the first year, he set us back 2 years because. For me, the Jacksonville game is always going to be the one that's etched in my memory that he literally cost this team a game.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just how he managed that team, it was just a mess. So now that OTAs are here, I don't know if you had the chance to see the videos they've been posting, but the joy and the happiness that this team is feeling, Tua looks healthy, the team just looks stacked, everyone's happy to be there. It's like, and you see the players walking in, it's like star after star after star after star. When's the last time we could literally sit there and say, we have like 6 to 7 easy Pro Bowlers if all goes well this year and everything goes well? Like, when's the last time we could easily say that? Like, our team is loaded.
Right.
And yes, and we have holes, but every team has holes, and that's why there's a draft. That's why there's an off season. And then
was there ever a time during the Marino area where you felt like the team was stacked?
No.
Right. So this
I never believed our team could win a Super Bowl the entire time Marino. For my life, for my time, maybe 93. Then he killed towards Achilles, and Scott Mitchell came in, and then they blew the rest of the season and moved to this year. But besides that, I never sensed that they were going for it. I never sensed it. When you're Jay Beeler's your quarterback, and Chad Pennington's your quarterback, and Cleo Lemon's your quarterback, and John Peck's your quarterback, and Chad Henne's your quarterback, and you're not looking to win. There was no elite effort on this team. And I don't want to hear about big splashes about, we had the big splash with Mike Wallace and Brandon Marshall. These were not elite players in the league. We can easily say we have 2 wide receivers who are in the top 7, 6 to 10, for sure top 10, for sure, in the NFL. We have 2 cornerbacks that are for sure in the top 5 to 10 in the NFL, no matter what, even though one's 1-2 and one might be 4-5, whatever it is.
Right.
You have a defensive core of players where Holland's going to be an All-Pro. You have Phillips who's going to be an All-Pro. It's just the development of this team is just amazing, and that's why the draft is so much fun because all we're looking to do there is plug and play, and that's what's so exciting about this week for me. Like next week, I'm relaxed about 30 because you want to know what? We have nothing to lose in this draft, and at the best part is that we're just waiting on pins and needles because you never know with Greer. If he sees the player he wants, he will say next year, screw it. Yeah. And for me, I have zero concern. Like for me, the way I saw that team just go. Oh, by the way, you know how many people are not going to OTA? And how many players are not showing up for OTAs? Every single star was there yesterday.
Yeah.
People want to show up to these meetings. You're not going to see Tyreek Hill or Jalen Ramsey or Xavier Howard or Bradley Chubb or anybody skip anything.
And when was the last time that's happened? Like I still feel like every year we still had people that that just.
But you know what I like? I also even like you know what I like about this? You'll appreciate this because you're a trenches guy, and this is what I love. I love the moxie. I love the blue collar mentality of the team at the same time. When you see Dan Feeney walking in with his mullet and his mustache, and you see Zach Sealer, and you see like the brute guys who are there, like to just be who they are, and they don't change who they are. They're not expected to be these high end guys. It's so nice to see them, like how interesting these people are together. Like they all come from diverse backgrounds, and they all seem to mesh very, very well. Yes, it is true that they did go see Tucker Kraft, which is true. And the thing about Tucker Kraft, which is people might say, when I did read about his stats, he was injured, which might be a perfect fit for the Dolphins. That's why his stats weren't but the man can play. 100%. Tucker Kraft is definitely who they're looking at. The problem for me is I think what they're doing, and we'll talk about the draft in a few minutes, is I think they're looking at all these players, but I think they're hoping someone falls, and that's the one we're not talking about, right?
Well, I have a question for Daniel.
Go ahead.
Do you also think, Daniel, that they flew to North Dakota State to check out a lineman?
Yes, his name is.
Yes, that's my hope.
No. I wrote back in the other chat. Honestly, right now, something about, you want to know what? The tight end market, I think you can get one at 84.
Yeah.
If Cody Mock is sitting there, you do in the 40s. I'd even trade a pick to go get him because you need a swing tackle. You need someone to play all 5 positions.
Yep.
And literally, what this guy has developed into is insane.
Right.
So for me, he is definitely someone who, we want the big splash, but right now, people on this team won't have an excuse, right? If you go get a tight end, people are going to say, I didn't really like that tight end. If a lineman like Cody Mock is sitting there, no one's going to say boo.
Right.
Not one Miami Dolphin player to say, why did you take the tight end?
Because Cody Mock makes your offensive line better instantly because he can play every position.
You know what he also does? He lights a fire under Eichenberg and Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
If you go get another lineman,
it
scares the crap out of Eichenberg and Jackson.
Yeah.
Holy crap, I'm in trouble. Right? So for me,
I think so. Yeah.
I don't want to reach on a lineman. Like for me, if you're going to go get a lineman, go get him late in the draft. But I'm not reaching for a lineman.
Right.
But I don't think they need to reach anywhere. Like I think between Laporta,
I think Jackson was a reach.
Yeah.
When they went to get Jackson, I thought he was. Yeah. But I thought he was.
Yeah, those were reaches. But in the end, once Tua works out, those 2 picks won't matter.
Right.
Because just to bring up the point, I don't care what anybody says. Do you realize that Jalen Hurts, yes, he made it to a Super Bowl.
Right.
Yes, he was healthy this year. For most of the year, he had a bit of an injury. We'll be making close to $42 million more than Tua.
Yeah.
Okay? He's going to be making $4. And next year, he's going to be making $28 million more than Tua. I don't care what anybody says. If Tua's healthy and does at least what he did last year, we have $28 million to play with next year. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Exactly.
They paid him now. Look, did you go look who the top players are? Kyler Murray, 40-something in a million. Then after that, I think Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts, all these players, they're making more than Patrick Mahomes. Are you crazy?
Do you think the Cardinals are shooting themselves in the foot for the Kyler deal?
Which deal?
Kyler.
Oh, the Kyler for sure. No, they're dead. They're dead in the water because now we said it last week that Buda Baker doesn't want to be on that team anymore. Yeah. And trust me, I'd go get Buda Baker. I would go take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
To go fill up, because I've always said to people, I've said this many times, you have Deshaun Elliott and all that, but for me, it's about I think Brandon Jones might be better as a sort of a linebacker kind of concept, depending on when you want to utilize it. So for me, I don't know. So for me, and also
I was listening to Move the Sticks with Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks, and they brought up a very good point, and it made you go, made you think. They said, like, if you've got, so they brought up Chicago, for instance, and they said they have Fields. Does it make sense then for them to go and draft Richardson and then still have that rookie deal? So when Fields' rookie deal is up, if he hasn't done much for him, then you trade him. You've got Richardson, and you're still on that rookie deal with him. So my question is, if you don't have,
I think it's a bad. I wouldn't do that for my life because then you end up having that sense of, the moment Fields has a bad game, put Richardson in.
Right? Well, I understand that part, but I'm also saying, like, if you're in that rookie contract and you don't, and that quarterback is not, he's not performing. Yeah. I think you go out and you get another rookie quarterback somewhere in that rookie deal, so you can cut bait with him and then have the other guy in there. I understand that's what the fans want, but at some point you're going to have to hit a home run with a quarterback sooner or later.
Yeah. For me, right now, I'm not worried about. Honestly, it's the last on this team. It's the last position I'm worried about.
Yeah,
because no matter what, McDaniel is not going to make the same mistake he made last year. If another quarterback has to come in for any particular reason, he's going to have this team ready. Like this is not a Teddy Bridgewater. Mike White is a different kind of quarterback than Teddy Bridgewater. He has had bigger moments. I think he knows that this is an opportunity for him. The thing with Teddy Bridgewater, he had opportunities in other places. Mike White knows what his role is here. He's not trying to become a starter. I think he realizes what he has here. And Skyler also wants to prove himself as well. So I think there will be a healthy competition there.
Yeah.
But I think Tua knows where the fact that he's there and he hasn't stopped since the season ended. He has literally gone nonstop with himself and how much bigger he's gotten, how much stronger he's gotten. But I'm not worried. And yes, they're very interested in Cody Mock. I believe they've met with him at one point, but trust me, if he's there, I think what the main mindset is he's not being talked about as much because the fact that people don't expect him to be there, but you don't know, right? There could be a run.
Right. You don't want people knowing that you're in on him, so you can
for sure.
Yeah. If Greer's interested in him and he's there in the second, I think the closer it gets to Miami's pick, they could jump up and grab him.
Yeah, for me, trust me. If Hendon, I'm not surprised. A lot of people are going to be screaming at the fact that at 51, Hendon Hooker's still there, which I don't think he will be. I think people realize that, you want to know what? He's probably the best. If he was not injured last year, he would be the number one pick in the draft potential, even though he's older. For an established team, like a team like Carolina and Frank Reich would say, I don't need much more with that one. Right. But I think they're just worried about that part of it. But for me, go get the best players, and that's all that matters.
I think he makes sense. I think he makes sense with the Titans.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to start right away.
I think Malik Willis is years away.
Yeah, I don't think he's ready.
And the fact that they had to bring in Dobbs last year. Was it Dobbs they brought in?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he was a mess. And honestly, imagine paying Tannehill $34 million next year. Holy crap! Right. I remember when we signed him here for 17, I was freaking out. I go, holy crap! We're paying $17 for $17
Nobody will ever pay that kind of money for Tannehill.
$17 million for a wide receiver turned quarterback, please.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Anyway, but guys, everyone watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're halfway through the show. Now I want to focus a little bit more on the draft, and as we're approaching, I'm sure you're licking your chops. Trust me, I'm going to be on that show. I'm going to be sneaking in. I'll be there on as long as I can. I just love this draft talk.
Oh yeah.
For me right now, I have never been more relaxed for the draft because of the fact we need to fill holes. And you want to know what? We're all focused on the tight end position. But like I said before, Cody Mockey's there. Defensive tackle, I really more leaning towards nose versus DT. But for me, I would be sorely disappointed if they go defense over offense here. Because on offense, they can fill tight end with probably 4 or 5 guys are there. The only person I would go get on defense is Jack Campbell if he falls.
Yes.
But that's the only one. But
do you see him falling?
No.
I don't. I think he'll be at the worst in early
second round because I think people see him as a lot. I compare him to Zach. I expect Zach Thomas. I just think he's a mauler. He gets that. He doesn't look like your prototypical stud linebacker, but boy, can that guy be that guy. That guy during there was a T-ball product. The guy was phenomenal. So, assuming he might be gone, but Mike Vogel loves that pick to be called.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my draft crush.
No, for me, in order, trust me, if John Michael Schmitz or Cody Mock are sitting there, I will take them and make John Michael Schmitz guard for his first year for all I care. Put him a left guard. Teach him how to fucking play tackle for all I care. I would take those two over the tight end because I think that either one of those tight ends will still be there. Even if you have to go take a Cameron Latou, I'd be fine with it. So whether it's a Latou, whether it's a Laporta, whether it's a Kraft, whether I'd go get either one of them.
Mayer. There's some people that think he's going to fall into the second.
Yeah, I know. The one player I will not take, I will be upset if they take, and I think you would be too, because he does not fit the scheme at all, is Kincaid.
Yeah.
If Kincaid comes off the board for us, But then Chris Greer has lost a little bit of my moxie because I don't understand. Does not fit.
Somebody wrote an article. I saw it on Twitter today. Somebody wrote an article. Is he the second coming of Kittle, or the other one? I was like, no,
I hate Nick Gesicki.
he can't block.
No,
he can't block.
That's not even for me. It's not about the blocking. But the problem with wide receivers who don't know how to block, it's not that they don't know. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is a punter can tackle them. You ever notice how easy Mike Gesicki falls?
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Yeah.
And if he thinks he's going to get the ball from Mac Jones often, please, not going to happen. Not going to happen. So for me, no, O-line has to be there. Tight end, I think it's O-line, it's tight end, it's running back. But here's my tough question for you. Because if literally you see Mock, you see Campbell, you see Schmitz, and you see Gibbs, you see those four sitting there. No tight end yet. Or because Washington will be gone. Those four, Schmitz, Mock, Campbell, Gibbs, in order. Tell me, who do you pick? First, second, third, fourth?
Well, I'm picking Mock first all day, every day, just for the simple fact that he can play all five positions. And then I'm going to go get Schmitz. Who are the other two? Oh, and then
Gibbs
I go
Campbell,
and then Gibbs.
Yeah, I agree with you exactly. Because for me, in the end, I don't think Dalvin Cook is going to resign. I don't think that anyone's going to trade for him. Miami's waiting for him either to be cut, and if he doesn't fit the scheme, because someone posted an article, it was Omar Kelly. Would you trade? If they both got cut? Would you sign either one of them to a 3-year, $24 million contract? Would you give each one of them $8 million? Either one of them $8 million for the next 3 years to play with the Dolphins? Henry or Cook?
Oh, I think I'd go Henry over Cook.
No, but would you take either one over anyone in the draft? Like, would you give up?
Yeah, probably.
Would you give up 84 for either one?
I don't know. That's a lot of damn money right there.
Yeah. 14 million.
I definitely think I could give it up for either of those two, preferably Henry. I don't feel he has the injury history, but
perfect for the Dolphins.
When you watched his tape last year, Cook looked really good for Minnesota last year. So
he burned us for 54 yards. Remember that touchdown? Cost us the game. We played well in that game, and then Cook burned us. And Henry can run behind anything.
Right. I agree with Dolphins thirsty. I just want him to be able to play one position when he gets here, and that's right tackle.
But even for me, if Schmitz was your guy, and you don't want to touch Connor, a lot of people are gung-ho, don't touch Connor Williams, he's established at center. Could Schmitz play guard, or only play guard, or could he play right tackle? To you?
I see him as being a true center.
See, would you move? I would move Connor Williams back to left side if Schmitz was there. But I know Bobby's very against that because of what we established. But
my issue is when a guy plays center his whole entire career, and then you bring him up to the pros and you try and make him something that he hasn't played. I think that takes away some of his skill set. So when when you have these natural right tackles and you bring him in and you try and make him a left tackle, why can't we just keep him at right? And I understand that's where all the money's at. And Miami's different because we have a left-handed quarterback. So, that's where if we can get a stud right tackle, and then when it's time to pay him, if he's doing well, then pay him like a left tackle because he's your blindside guy.
Yeah. But for me, I think the way he runs, too, I think Brandon Shell did a reasonable job. Like, I want to remind everyone who will watch this later on. We didn't give up a lot of pressures last year. As bad as people said our offensive line is, we didn't give up a lot of pressures.
Yeah, I was very impressed with how, in just a few film that I've seen in the last couple of weeks, that he was playing. I thought he did a pretty good job.
And also, in reality, everyone, Tua gets the ball out in 2.5 seconds.
Yeah,
it's just when he has to second think and he starts and he overthinks himself. If he adjusts himself, because like I say, like Marino used to do, and that's what I would literally have Nick Hicks put this in his ear and McDaniel put in his ear. Find a guy, let it fly.
Yeah,
that's all you need to do. And if a guy is the water boy, honestly, just have Mike McDaniel put the water boy in the corner at the bench and leave him there with a bullseye. And say, if you can't find a guy within 3 seconds, throw it to that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Shell's okay for sure, yes. I think they're just, like I said, honestly, I think the Dolphins are going to do what they need to do once they see the draft settle. Like, I think if you think they're going to wake up fast, they're going to wake up fast.
You know why I'm confident in that is because they've done so well this offseason.
Yeah.
Signing a world-renowned defensive coordinator and bringing in Ramsey and solidifying guys in the defense. And then, Mike McDaniel with a 6th-ranked offense last year, bringing in the pieces that we need. Like, you have faith that they're not the fans, the fanatical fans in Miami, of the Dolphins. Like, the one thing that we keep stressing about is all the stuff that they're not doing. Well, you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, and you don't know when they're good. It'll get taken care of. It's not September yet. We don't.
No
have
one had
tomorrow.
a clue. No one had a clue we were getting Jalen Ramsey. No one had a clue we were getting Tyreek Hill.
Right.
No one had a clue. Bradley Chubb was a lot. People wanted him, but there was no leak. There was nothing. So for me, it's not the end of the world. Let it all play out.
Right.
So speaking of what we've done in the off season, because no one's really talked about what's up, Ender. What were your thoughts on a particular guy who you know a little bit because he actually played in your state, but went for who's now the chosen one, holding up a Tua jersey. So I guess he wants to come play with Tua. What do you think about the signing of Chosen Anderson?
I mean,
Robbie Anderson.
It kind of shocked me a little bit. I was like,
randomness of life.
I don't know. I honestly
they have
don't know
nothing
what
to lose on this one.
Right.
Do you understand
right.
he's the second most experienced guy we have on our team? He has
Right.
more starts than any other wide receiver outside of Tyreek Hill.
Right. And
he's had
he'll have a
2
quarterback.
season.
He has a quarterback that knows how to get him the ball.
Yeah, and he could be the deep threat kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I personally think he could fight for number 3. I think this the writing's on the wall for Cedric. I think they did this because they're going to try to get rid of Cedric. But I don't know where this leaves Easy or River. But like right now, the way it's penciled in, if he works out, Cedric can't be here. Can't.
Right.
Like, where do you can't have this many wide receivers? It's a little much.
Right.
But honestly, they have nothing to lose. And the fact that he was excited to pull up a Tua jersey, and he's had his issues. You want to know what? But no one gives you a better redemption than Mike McDaniel, right? Like people always need to forget this guy is a redemption story from what he's come from and what he's overcome.
Right.
So for me, the fact that they're willing to give him a chance, what do they have to lose? Honestly, he's happy to be there. If someone wants to come to Miami, the more the merrier. That's what camps are for, right? I can remember I went to training camp last year, and I was watching all these guys they drafted, like Kellen Deach, and they were who was the was it Mohamed Sanu? Or was it Mohamed Sanu who joined there? Yeah, Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah.
They signed him, and he looked phenomenal during training camp. He was great. They didn't keep him. You want warm bodies. You need players, and if people can shine, go for it. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. For me, the more wide receivers on this offense, the more weapons for Tua, all the better. And and this is also another redemption story, right? We're giving him a chance, and if he doesn't work out, cut him. What's the big deal? You're not going to lose. And I think they said on the show earlier, right, about Jeff Wilson, like they signed such contract. All the Chris Greer and Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie have signed such great contracts with people that if we have to cut certain players, especially on the running core, the likelihood if we go get Derek, think about this, Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook are going to make more money with the Dolphins than all the other four running backs combined. Right? So it's like, what's the big deal? Like, honestly, everything is so well set up. So that's why people, and I want to just give clarity, because I love when they give Chris Greer his flowers. I believe in Chris Greer, not because of Chris Greer. Because Chris Greer's best thing he's ever done is that he's not too big for his britches, and he has 2 guys next to him who want to work with him, in Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie, who could easily be GMs in other leagues. So, what's up, Anthony? My Mount Rushmore is Nick Bonacani, Dick Anderson, Jake Scott,
Bonacani.
Yeah. You have to go back for those, eh?
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you, half the people, including you and myself, have only seen these guys in black and white. So, Anyways, it's Anthony. Shoot us as many questions as you want tonight. We'll gladly answer them. But overall, for me, I'm just honestly like I check Dolphins every day. It's part of my daily routine. It's just everything that's going on. There's so much, but honestly, like the countdown for me is like Thursday can't come fast enough. Like it just
I know.
come fast enough.
I know. Like
and
this week,
we're not even picking the first day, and we're still going to be talked about.
Oh yeah.
We're still going to be talked about. But it's just amazing. Imagine we didn't screw up that pick. Holy crap! You know what the funny part is? We probably would have screwed up that pick had we had the first round.
Right. Yeah. We would have screwed it up for sure.
We would have reached. We so would have reached.
Yeah.
Right? We would have had, what do we, in the early 20s? And then someone would have go, we took Jack Campbell. Took down our watch. You took him too early. What are you taking him for?
Exactly.
So
it's the value. The value.
Exactly. You're racing a pig. What are you talking about? What's going on here?
I need someone that plays center.
Yeah. I don't know. For me,
I don't care about your value pick. Give me my center.
For me, I know. For me, that's the one thing about that O-line. Hopefully, but that's the one thing I'm a little weirded out is that Butch Berry is not hardly been talked about. But like, he never had an introductory press conference. Like, I have no idea what this guy's about, except that people never didn't like him. But who knows with the connection with Vic Fangio? Who knows?
Yeah.
Anthony, is there a team or teams that are in a rebuild mode that you guys see trading the veteran established players to teams who are competing for playoff spots? Is there a team or team that are in rebuild mode? Do you see guys trading? Maybe, Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Tennessee.
But Tennessee wasted. I think they signed Jeffrey Simmons, who's phenomenal, but they're not winning. Like, I don't think Vrabel is going to be their pass next season. Like, I think he might be. I think if he sees a better opportunity somewhere, he'll walk.
So you're saying that he's
Vrabel. I love Vrabel.
A free agent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is there a team you think that's in rebuild mode that wants to trade a veteran?
I mean, that was the first team that I thought of.
I thought Tampa should have. But.
Tampa.
I think they're pushing. The envelope a little too much, and I think they realize with Baker Mayfield, they better go draft a quarterback. And I think they should rebuild because I think the Mike Evans. I don't see Mike Evans and what's his name.
But wouldn't you agree that these are the best weapons that he's had to throw to?
Who?
Mayfield and Tampa.
Yes, for sure. No, I think Landry and OBJ were better.
Really?
Than Evans and what's his name?
I was thinking specifically Evans. I just think Evans is a stud.
Oh, Evans last year had a crappy. Evans is a great guy, but if I had the choice between, last year he got to throw. He got to throw to Cooper Kupp a little bit. I think for a game.
Yeah.
By the way, did you read that stat? I know we're talking Dolphins. Did you go see? They literally heading into the draft. The Rams don't have, I think, a kicker, a punter, a running back. I think they don't have a backup. They only have one quarterback on the roster.
That's crazy.
One. It's insanity.
F them picks.
Right? Godwin. Yeah, Godwin. There we go. Thank you, Stanley. Welcome to the show. I can see Tampa training Anton Winfield. I don't think they should have signed Lamonte David back, and I think what's his name? They want what's their linebacker who wants out? I would never. His PFF was awful in the 40s. Devon White? Is it White?
Oh, White. Yeah. White,
yeah. For me, I'm happy they signed David Long. He has a redemption there too. You know what I mean? Like, this is a foundational team with a lot of elite players, and let these players mold into what they need to mold. And then you also have other players still developing, which is great for us. So, but for me, I have no worries. Like, this draft is going to be fun because even now we're picking, and you go look up all these stat lines. An NFL player can develop into anything. It's just how you build around him. Like, you bring him in a winning culture, he's going to be successful.
And that is the essence of being a true coach.
Yeah.
Right? Is that coach that can come in and coach with the players that he has and build the scheme, whether it's offensively or defensively, against the players that he has.
Yeah. No, for me, it's the coaching staff here is a great coaching staff. It just now they have a leader on the offense, a leader on the defense. They have the right coaches developing with different players, and the only way the only way I see the Dolphins trading up into the first round is if they give up second round picks. Do you guys agree? Yes, they're going to have to mortgage next year, and like I said, I'm willing to give up a second. Now I'm not willing to give up a first next year, but I'm willing to give up a second or third to go get a player I want this year. Like I told you,
if there's a player there that they covet and they can get that 30-second spot or whatever, I definitely see them giving up a pick or two to be able to go to get him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Mike McDaniel fan.
That coach you're speaking about.
I think so.
Okay. Although let's be honest here. Mr. Bandwagoner, was the hardest Mike McDaniel critic. So when Thirsty gives me crap about being a Debbie Downer, it has to do, or George Costanza, it has to do with Mike McDaniel's clock management and his scheme play. So when he messed up in LA against the Chargers, when he messed up with the game in Buffalo, and his clock management and the way he just managed, and then giving the game in Buffalo in the snow, giving up the run and throwing on. For me, those are the kind of things that I was hard on him about, and the fact that he allowed Boyer to get away with murder, allowed Crosby to get away with murder, and all of these things, and not step in and not deal with things differently. He was a rookie head coach, so that's why I didn't want a rookie head coach. I liked him as a coach. I loved him as a coach, but the fact that you went to go had he not gone to get Tyreek Hill, and they didn't bring and that kind of concept, and we would have been okay. There's another development year. See what Tua goes with Jalen Waddle and Cedric Wilson, and then we win 8 or 9. I expected 9 games based on that team. But the fact that you got Tyreek Hill, and the fact that you lost, those are the things. Like, he didn't adapt, but like I said, that was also partly on Chris Greer because they didn't give him the opportunity to build a coaching staff where he had a veteran sounding board. Now he has the greatest veteran sounding board you could possibly ask for. So I have no problem. What are your thoughts on that?
Say it one more time. I was reading Anthony's comment when you were talking.
Like, what are your thoughts on the fact that now he has a sounding board, unlike last year? The fact that
I think that I think Fangio is going to be good for him, both like you were saying as a sounding board. When you look at Mike McDaniel and the coach that he is, and how, specifically the offense improved under him, and him being a player's coach. I don't know. I feel like in today's NFL, you want those coaches that can relate to players more. The guys that are, the Bill Belichicks of the world, they're not as successful. You want guys
he is, by the way, I made this comment, I forget who said it, but I think he is the worst general manager in the NFL.
Who's that?
Bill Belichick. I don't care what people say him as a coach. He is the worst general manager I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And no one should be good in both roles.
That team, as it's constructed right now, doesn't scare me. There's not a part of that team that I'm like, oh, the Patriots.
They lost McCourty. They don't have anything anymore. They're done. They're done so. But you want to focus on Nancy's comment? You want to know what? They don't know. They love this guy. Like I said earlier, Anthony, everyone's there for OTAs. Every star player is there. They're a family team.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll let anybody. You know what? If Tyreek Hill wants to take over my locker room, a winner, a guy who cares about it, I have no problem. What's up, John? Great to see you, buddy.
How would you classify Andy Reid as a coach? Would you say he's a player's coach?
Yes.
When you talk about practice and them doing the little circle,
oh, the cheeseburger. The fact that people know that about his whole cheeseburger thing and they joke around with him about it, 100% he's a player's coach.
Yeah. So that's the type, right? And I feel Mike.
Yeah, I don't think he was, and I think he's only been a player's coach in Kansas City. I think he would. I think the expect. I think in Philly it was. I think. Who would want to be in Philly? You're not a player's coach. You're a fan's coach. Like, you know how hard it is to be a fan in Philly. Holy crap!
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's he's old school. Yes, he is a player's coach. The guy is joking around. If Brian Flores wins the game, he won't even smile.
Right.
He'll walk around. He's dancing. He's joking around. He's wearing the whole. Think about it. He's the guy during the GM meeting, during the owners' meetings, who's sitting front and center in his shorts and his Hawaiian Caribbean shirt, smiling ear to ear. Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel. The people who are smiling and having fun on the sideline, those are players' coaches. Players who are miserable honestly. And in fact, by the way, you want to know why he's a good guy? he could have pulled. He knew Eric Bieniemy. Yes, he was. He gave him the foundation to do what he needed to do. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be the reason why. Because you know this for a fact. Andy, with the new guys coming in and with Washington, Eric Bieniemy is the coach in the league. So
yeah, right.
But so you would say guys like Don Shula, Bill Cowher are more like that old school mentality that are hard asses, 100%, 100%. Like for me, I think that like Pete Carroll's an old school guy, but because he went to college and all that, and the way he rah-rahs his players on the pitch, he's a players coach. Coaches who run around who are encouraging their players. Adam Gase, not a players coach.
No.
Joe Philbin, not a players coach.
Right.
They've
Cam
once said
Cameron?
a little bit. Cam Cameron, no, he was too lost. He was asleep. Tony Sperano, players coach. Like those are players coaches for me.
Right.
The guys who in the league, Sirianni, players coach. McVay, players coach. Shanahan, players coach. Why? Because they put them in positions to succeed. It's not about their ego. Mike McDaniel at the end of every game talks about his players and he tries to be positive about everything. He'll never rip one of his players. He does not rip his players. So we're heading close to the hour. You need to go take a nap because you look very comfy on that recliner.
I know, man, it's great.
Flo loves Iggy. Wonder if you'd want him.
Like and subscribe.
I would trade literally Iggy for
Cook.
No, I would trade Iggy for I'm trying to think. I don't know. Not much. I can't even think of something. I don't want to insult the
other rental car?
I don't know. Oh yeah, I feel bad for that. Is there a possibility? Let's see. We'll go. Is there a possibility that Extreme could be outside too much of a players coach? Players can walk all over you, not looking their hard ass. Yes, but in a foundational team like this one, where you have that many star players, no one's getting in trouble. And the fact of the matter is, I want to give you guys a final comment, and then you can give your final comment before we close up the show. These players are all coming here for free lunch at Mickey D's, 100%. Hey, by the way, did you hear that they're upgrading their burgers? They're going to be making them more cheesy. They're adding. They're going to be modifying
toasted buns.
Toasty buns. Oh, I don't understand this stuff. Remember when they started to do the whole stuff? I'm on a health kick starting the last couple of days because I want to focus on that stuff. But like, remember when they brought in the salads and they brought in, it doesn't work. Like, stick with what you're good at. Like, focus on what you're good at. But just to make a point, everyone criticizes, including people on this network, about Bruno. If I was an egotistical player or a hard ass coach, he wouldn't be my quarterback. The fact that the players are there to support him, Mike McDaniel created that foundational family. The fact that he did that's people could say, screw you, Mike McDaniel. Like, you believe in this guy, I want out. No, they want to come here.
Right.
They want to come here because he knows how to get them the ball, and he knows that this guy is a coach who's literally going to get them the ball every time they need it. So these are normal Miami. Yeah.
So my 2 cents on that, Anthony, is that I do think you can have a players coach that believes in the players, and then there's no accountability behind the scenes, whatever. The reason I think Miami is different is because we went and got Fangio with the former, who was a former coach that can kind of, talk to Mike McDaniel on the side and be like, this is what works. This is what didn't work for me. Make sure you're hard here. Make sure you get this here. So I do think it can go either way, but I think the way that they've built their coaching staff is going to set them up nicely.
Yeah, no, for me, yeah. The way the coaching staff is structured, and honestly, I want to see everyone in that room. You know what I love? I love the war rooms. Honestly, I want to see Mike McDaniel. I want to see Vic Fangio. I want to see Martin. I just want to smile. You know what the best part is? What were you? Last year I got the opportunity to come on for like an hour or two because we were still a little smaller here. But the fact that you get to come on this show, Coach Bates, the fact that you get to come on the show and we get to talk about it, there's going to be so much Miami Dolphins content on the draft show. Like, that's what makes it exciting. The fact that we're here as a family, here as a group, is the best part. It's the absolute best part. Honestly, imagine you were doing it and you didn't have this. So that's why thank you, John. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Thirsty. Thank you, Stanley. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Steve, we miss you today. I hope you're having a good time up in Florida. I hope all is well. Any final words before we call it a night?
Fins up, baby. Let's get to the draft and get after it.
And before I go, one last thing. Tomorrow, I'm not sure about the lineup, but I know there's great content. Don't forget to watch shows like Fast Break, No Holds Bar. We're going to be doing a cool draft next week on No Holds Bar. Then you have Bottom Up, Fins Up, is In and Out. You never know. Huddle Up and Wait will sneak in somewhere where it fits. Then you have the draft shows coming up with Dolphins on the Clock and Dolphin Draft Talk with myself, Michael Vogel, Bobby Melendez, everyone. We really appreciate it. And then we have Saturday, we have Fins Talk Today. Then we have Once Upon a Sunday. Then we have Back with Beer and Sports and East 10th Street Boys. And then back then, there'll be a lot more talk. We'll be back with Real Talk Fins Talk with Steve Malloy and Rob Mosley, Dalton Thirsty. Don't forget to check out DolphinsThirsty.com, because on there you see Bobby, you'll see Dolphin Thirsty, you'll see a lot of great content with a lot of different people. It's a lot of fun. And then you're going to have the Fins Bandwagon with you, me, everyone else. We're going to drop the link next week. We're going to have another open mic. I want everyone to walk in with their open draft. And if Bobby allows me, we'll probably bring up the mock draft, and I'm going to let people who join in, let them do their own mock draft as we head into the draft. I think it'll be a lot of fun. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And as Mike said before, I have to prepare myself because it's the first time I've done this in a long time. Don't forget to Fins Up.
Like, subscribe.